Alrighty, this is called relevant positioning by the entity that is group stalking in the sky space. Doing so, flying directly over in a small plane, a red and white plane, like I documented earlier while I was at the Prime Wash Express. This is Brinks Security, who was group stalking, engaging in surveillance with the entity that is indeed in the sky space, group stalking, flying over me, and you are aware of all of that. Again, already established as the P.O.C. Brinks Security is engaged in relevant positioning, light activity. While I'm on the road to the highway, the fake sun remains over me. Brinks is engaged in that statewide P.O.C. They're bearing weapons while group stalking. That's the basis of federal prison. This is a federal plate, 2933882. This is an Indy. Brinks Security is also engaged in federal stalking, and I've also documented Brinks Security engaged in the same exact demonic conduct, terrorizing me with impossible light activity that while they're crossing path, and these demons are just bearing weapons while doing so. That's, again, the intolerable methods of group stalking. Just like a corrupt police department, you're going to federal prison for that. Exercising fictitious authority. Bearing weapons of group stalking, you're going to federal prison for that, while they're simultaneously carrying money in and out of facilitating venues, okay? License, I just want to make sure that you see this light source. This is Central Avenue in Montclair, where I have already passed Montclair, came back, and the entity is group stalking. This demon is group stalking with a method of light activity in the path, 2933882, and they're group stalking while the entity flew right over in a small little plane. And the moment that I start recording video, yeah, that's POC. They're group stalking. That's federal stalking that Brinks is also engaged in. Brinks has been documented engaging in POC for years. Okay, since I've been documented, they're fully engaged in the pattern of conduct, doing so under the fake sun at the 7-Eleven in Euclid Avenue, doing so group stalking at the Ontario Mills, doing so while they are monitoring documentation and the entity, much like the malice that's exhibited when you're group stalking through the municipality. Under the fake sun amongst engineer light, group stalking by planes and helicopters. That's what Brinks Security is doing while they are bearing weapons and group stalking with the same exact population. Okay, that's exhibited malice, and doing so while the entity is crossing path in the sky space. Brinks is no exception with regard to that pattern of conduct, and it's a threat to your life while they're group stalking and bearing weapons. All right, that's not with regard to ignorantly being in your path and that, oh, there's no harm. All they're doing is emptying out money, and that's impossible light activity. And that's, again, 7RKJ 273 and 8VVA 179 4479 8L3. Impossible light that's appearing underneath the structure, the shaded structure. These are demons. All right, and so is Brinks Security. You need to know that that's a corrupt company, and they're group stalking as a population. I'm going to sue Brinks because that's a terrorizing threat while demons are maliciously keeping you under surveillance while bearing weapons. Okay, they bear weapons while they're group stalking you and not engaging in any lawful execution of their jobs, moving monies from third-party facilitating venues, and concentrating on behalf of the state. Okay, this is the entity that's in the sky space. Okay, that's the pattern of conduct while the fake sun is remaining over me. While engineer light occurs in the vehicle, PN883, that's the entity that's group stalking. Those are the elements of monitoring. This is what the Ontario International Airport is doing so while they're pacing repeatedly. This is demonic. Pacing one after another. Light source remains over me. That's impossible light activity that occurs inside of the car while the people that stay 44798L3 9LWV296 04010V2. I just documented a whole population, a pattern of conduct in Upland, California, 6UTA491. The entity is crossing path, one vehicle after another, 8VVA 179, 7NIC 817, 7XSA 779, 7RKJ 723. While that's the demon that's crossing path underneath the covered structure, and engineer light was underneath the bridge, and engineer light was appearing on the brick wall in the shade. These are all demons, and so are those that are group stalking in planes. And okay, that's POC. I just want you to make sure that you can see that. Let's see. This is what Brinks Security is group stalking with and on behalf of. This is, again, public corruption that is exposed. Here you go. This is the entity that's group stalking, and this is Upland Police. The entity group stalking by Ontario Police. They have the blue and white helicopters. I have documented them outside of jurisdiction. Laverne group stalking in Upland. The Arcadia group stalking in Monrovia. The entity that's engaging in that pattern of conduct is not abiding by strict jurisdictions in doing so, and that's also because I'm documenting them. They're not avoiding anything. The entire state's going to be prosecuted. Every single government actor. It's not based on some individualization. While Montclair PD is group stalking in, for example, Glendora, California, Montclair PD and Glendora PD are also simultaneously engaged in that statewide POC. These are the unintelligent demons that are stalking under a fake sun. All right, 44798L3 is going to federal prison. They're group stalking with the demons that are present in helicopters. And they're maliciously engaged in that pattern of conduct with impunity. Terrorism via directed light, group stalking with Brink Security. That's federal prison, by the way. License 9GRW257 with the entity that's group stalking by helicopters under a fake sun. It's 3:40 p.m. The entity's keeping the fake sun over Woodside Senior Apartments as I documented Tracy Banks driving out of the parking lot at 3:40 p.m. And then I remained on Vine Avenue, the same Vine Avenue where I was present at 9:30 and 10 o'clock this morning. The entity is maintaining relevant position. License plate 6EDR884. That's means of presence in the path. Demons that are maintaining creative means of relevant positioning. They're going to federal prison and they're group stalking in a drive-through, and that's how you know that that's intentional and not coincidental with regard to an environment that is not over Woodside Senior Apartments where Tracy Banks is crossing path, and she would like to submit that that's sunlight that's ricocheting off of the curb while she's driving out of the apartment complex. This is a demon that's trying to criminally defame the target individual. She's going to federal prison. She's going to be subject to routine mental examinations. Only a mentally ill, a psychopath, literally a public threat, would engage in trying to sacrifice her own daughter and then criminally defame. Okay, she is under no circumstances whatsoever prepared for the intellectual warfare that requires to try to defame my character, or mentally claim that I'm mentally defame me, period, while she's engaging in this pattern of conduct. You've seen the engineer light. That's revealing a psychopath. That's not the entity's engagement in a pattern of conduct. Engineer light is never naturally occurring. The entity has engaged in that pattern of conduct while you are intentionally in an engineered environment. And you do so as a malicious government actor. 9GOW605 is group stalking with that same government that's present in a helicopter. They're going to federal prison. Okay? This is P.O.C. in Upland, California at 11th Street. And what is 11th and Central Avenue, where the fake sun is not over Woodside Senior Apartments at 3:40. It's 3:42 p.m. I just documented the fake sun over me at the same exact time at 3:40 p.m. at Woodside Senior Apartments. Okay, the presence in helicopter, group stalking by Brink Security, doing so by planes and helicopters. That's the population. That is the entity. That is the corrupt entity that's engaging in what is this pattern of conduct of surveillance. And they are exposing the people of the state, which is, again, I've already shown you that they're group stalkers, but the entity is acting with the population, and they are exposing themselves to a prosecution in doing so. 7RKR823. That's why the entity had a fake sun over Woodside Senior Apartments and the people of the state, the demons that are crossing path. Well, impossible light activity. Remember, all over the parking structure in that parking lot of Woodside Senior at 4:30 there's no sun that's going to be over Woodside. That's a light source that remains over me while I am now not at Woodside. The sun is not going to both station. There's only one, not 14. All right, and it's not going to be in San Diego, California, over my hotel room, and also remaining at Alvarado Gardens in Los Angeles, over my apartment, over the top of my head at my leasing office, and also at the same time, for example, to remain over me while I am en route to Bakersfield, California, and driving on the streets in Bakersfield, Kern County, and the entity stalking in helicopters, because that's how you are identifying that. And they're also doing so while the light source is in this manner in alignment with my window in Kern County in Bakersfield. All right, that's the POC though. That's not the natural environment. That is the POC, however. This is, again, the third party that is going to federal prison. The malice with which they're engaging in criminal presence, group stalking you with the government. 9GOW605. Not going home and not facing any consequences. They're going home and there's a federal prosecution on their head. And they will be found and they're going to be prosecuted. And they're going to federal prison. That's malice. Okay? And the entity that is the Upland Police Department, group stalking with the Ontario Police Department, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, Montclair Police group stalking on the freeway by helicopter. That's the statewide POC. All right, and the entity maintaining presence while the fake sun. Let me open this up so you can see. As I turn in an opposite direction, the light. I'm driving north up what is that was north up the Central, and now I am driving east on Foothill, and the entity is keeping that fake sun no longer going in a direction north. It's going in the direction to remain over my vehicle that's in real-time movement, not anywhere near Woodside Senior Apartments as I move street for street, turn for turn. It's group stalking by the people of the state in that environment. At 3:40 p.m., the entity is keeping a fake sun while I'm at Vine Avenue, where I was at 10 o'clock in the morning. That's not the sun as you compare that same exact crime scene. And as I move from that crime scene at 3:40 p.m., this is also not over that same exact street at Vine Avenue. This is where the entity is stalking in helicopters with the demons who are the people of the state. It is, again, 3:45 p.m. This is POC. In Upland, California at Benson Avenue and Foothill Boulevard. the demon-possessed Upland Police Department are right up here in relevant position. The Upland Police that's going to be disbanded. That's POC. 8XTU 899, 8DQX 751, POC.